Hi, my name is Joby Fontenot, and my topic is over international drug testing and how it ties into ethics. The overview, this PowerPoint will provide a description of what drug testing is and why it is used, the different types of drug testing, the laws that are in place that protect people's rights involving drug testing, and the laws that enforce drug testing in the workplace. And the last slide will be over ethics and how it all ties together with drug testing and ethical decisions in the workplace. The description of drug testing involves many reasons why they use it. It is used in the U.S. and internationally to determine if employees are currently using drugs while employed or have used drugs before being employed, and if it is still in their system. Companies use them to sometimes rule out people to hire or not to hire them if it is in their employee policies that they cannot use drugs in the workplace. Then they will drug test before the hiring process, and if they fail the drug test, then they will automatically not hire you. Sometimes after an accident on the job or on a job site, they will drug test an employee just to make sure that they were not on drugs, to make sure they're in the right state of mind, because then you get into lawsuits and different things of that nature, which can really hurt a company. So they like to rule that out right away. And it's an ethical issue because many companies do not think it is ethical to use drugs in the workplace or be under the influence while you're at work or if you're going to be hired by them. So they use this to rule out employees before they hire them. There are 4 main types of drug testing they use, and the first test and the most common one is urine testing. It's most common just because it's easy to get results back quickly. If you're trying to have somebody drug test before you hire them, you want the results quick so the hiring process does not take very long. The second most common one, since it is also easy to use, is oral fluid testing. And a lot of people will use this because it can be done in front of a monitor, somebody monitoring you, because it doesn't invade privacy. And people will use that because you can't alter your drug test since somebody's watching you the whole time while you do it. Third type is hair testing, which can detect repetitive drug use for up to 90 days. So it's a good one to use if you're really wanting to make sure that somebody has not used recently before you hire them. And the fourth one is point of collection testing, which provides instant or really quick results because it can be tested on site, or if you set up a lab on site, you can do the test and get the results in the same time, so you can save time and hire somebody quickly. The different laws in different countries that pertain to drug testing vary. Many different countries, they don't have laws that directly affect drug testing that say you need to drug test. They have different policies in place. An example is in Great Britain, they don't require you to have a drug test as an employee, but they make it legal for businesses to place a policy in their handbook, employee handbook, that allows for employees to give consent for drug testing prior to hiring or during work time and different things like that. In France, they have 3 different labor codes that tie into drug testing. One requires medical exams to be conducted by doctors and not just employers. So the doctors have to provide a permit for the employee to use drugs or alcohol or different things of that nature to help them with their condition. The second labor code requires employers to have a safe workplace, which could mean drugs and alcohol being banned from the workplace, but that's at the decision of the business owner or company owner. And the third labor code makes employees liable for physical exams to determine their ability to do the work. So if that means the business owner gives them a physical exam to see if they are able to do the job, that could mean they want to include drug testing in that, and the employee has to consent to that. In Australia, there are 5 industries that do have laws in place that require drug testing of employees. And they are aviation, construction, railroad, mining, and oil and gas. And they allow the employer to determine when they want to do the test and if it's necessary. It's at the decision of the business owner. But an employee must fully consent to a drug and alcohol test in Malaysia and Asia, but any drug test is legal to administer. So the urine test or the hair test or any of the tests they want to administer is legal if the employee consents to it. And in China, which is one of the largest workforces, if not the largest workforces in the world, has no law that requires an employee to pass a drug test to be hired. They do have if the employee consents to a drug test, then they are allowed to drug test, but there's no law stating an employee has to be drug tested. But in the US, nearly all states have some type of pre-employment drug test that is required for them to take before hiring. And some states are allowed to do random drug tests at the decision of the business owner. Professional drug testing in the workplace in 2 big ways. The first way is a company has a certain ethical standard that it wants to live by in their business, and many think it is unethical or will affect their ethical standard to have employees use drug and alcohol while hired by them or while they're working. And so in the policies, they have it set that you can't use drugs in the workplace. They will drug test you, and if you test positive, they will not hire you or you will be terminated. And if you consent to that, then you can't fight against that. Now it does, the ethical aspect of it does work in the employee's favor because it is unethical to invade somebody's privacy. So there are laws in place that protect a person's right to refuse a drug test, and they're not breaking any laws. And if you are fired for that, you would have a case in a court or something of that nature to fight that, stating that's invading your privacy and different things of that nature. So it all ties into ethics in those ways. In conclusion, international drug testing ties into ethics due to the fact that although a lot of countries do not have laws requiring drug tests, many business owners have a certain ethical standard they want to do business by, so they may put it in their policy. And this is the same thing as having a law, because if you consent to it, it is required of you to have a drug test. And these are the references that I've used for my presentation. Thank you.